Amber.
They saw my tum-tum!
The moon landing didn't happen.
Are you actually gonna wear that?
Okay, fine. You're the queen of lolcows. Well done, you.
Did she spray Pam on the food?
That ass, though.
You're lolcows. That's what you guys do.
I know the YouTube game, I know what people want, but I also know that there are things I have said and done online that I would have never done because I now, as a 34-year-old woman, I have learned from those things and learned from my mistakes.
Hey folks, what's good? I'm Professor Dietz, and today we're discussing Amberlynn Reid's recent crash outs. Well, actually, I really just want to discuss how we got there. Because once again, the sheer number of lies, false claims, suspicious, and toxic behaviors you presented were just too much for my brain to process at once. Now, admittedly, I did get caught up in the drama of it all for quite a while. After all, I mean, it was wild. But once my brain had a chance to slow down, I sat back and just kind of took it all in for a moment. Gorlworld is this symphony of wild yet somehow true events. You know, each person or group of people playing their own role in this dramatic production of reality. You know, we've got main characters, side characters, and babies, skeptics, haters. You know, there's different platforms for different commentary, different flavors of reaction channels. There's live chats, DMs, lurkers. But we all play a part, right? So, I want to take a moment to take a close look at how we got to this week's spectacle of, one woman's complete disconnect from reality. And also, I guess, offer you kind of a glimpse into my brain as I see the Amberverse. Now, just a quick reminder, as always, I've added timestamps to the description below if you want to skip directly to a specific section of this video. The idea for this video actually started with a question that I received from a viewer. They asked, when you react to ALR's meltdown, do you think she held off responding to capitalize on views to her BS videos for monetization? She was off for a month, and her shorts aren't cutting it. Because we all know she intended to respond. I had already been thinking about how long it took for Amber to finally acknowledge and respond to Rachel's expose.
Physical harm. You hurt me. You can't physically hurt people.
I don't think I'm alone in thinking that, we expected her to crash out a lot sooner than we got it. Not that I'm complaining, of course, because to be honest, I was still neck deep in the Amberverse history books. I was working on another edition of the Girl Games. It has been a minute since we did one of those, and I was excited about it. In any case, I knew that Gorlworld was battening down the hatches for whatever drama Amber would bring back from her month offline. So offline she was. And after everything that she left unanswered at the end of August, whether she liked it or not, we were ready to make sure that she knew that we, the rest of Gorlworld, had not forgotten about any of it. And then she shows up in this short form content, pretending to have some, corporate work from home job, but she was eating all day and just basically introducing her newest side characters, Keyboard and Tiny Bug. There was no mention of anything that she left behind before her break. Just some weird new rebrand and a whole lot of deflection. Upon reflection, the idea that Amber had been holding out on the dramatics for longer than usual, simply for the benefit of more views when she finally did, it actually hadn't occurred to me this time around. It definitely has in the past for some of her other meltdowns, for sure, but I don't know, this time I guess it just felt a bit different to me. Over a decade ago, Amber hit record for the very first time, assuming that people would love her and that she was going to be an inspiration. I mean, seriously, just think about how many times she has said those words on her channel.
Maybe I can be an inspiration for somebody. I don't know. I just want to be an inspiration. That's A big part of me doing this is to inspire. If I can be an inspiration to you, that makes me the happiest of all. Like, I just want to inspire people. And I'm glad that I was able to be an inspiration. I want to be an inspiration.
She wants people to be grateful for whatever impact that she's had on them. You know, she wants them to look up to her and ask her for advice about her makeup and daily life, swoon at her poetry, and then she would feel adored by her loyal viewership. But no matter how hard she tried, she's simply not that person. And over the years, for the most part, the only way that she's been able to make any money on YouTube is, by being the toxic, abusive, condescending, failed weight loss train wreck of a lying liar that lies that we've witnessed for years. And hope as she may, disappearing for a month was never going to have the effect that she wanted it to have, right? She can't just reinvent herself and her brand and then come back to the internet thinking that no one is going to remember who she is so that, she just never has to take any real, genuine accountability for any of her actions. It's just never going to work. But this is one of the reasons why I do think that Amber had been, back on Snapchat and TikTok recently as well. She was hoping that she could show up there and be the cute, quirky, inspirational girly pop that she's always wanted to be, minus the huge number of people that have been watching her for years and know who she really is as a person.
By the way, I am back on the Snapchat, so I post on there randomly. It's literally Rarity Cat.
How has she not changed her username?
If you guys want to go on there and follow me, I would love that. If you guys want to just have a look into my life a little bit more.
One might think that Amber absolutely consciously decided to wait as long as possible to crash out just to build anticipation and thus get more views. This is her job after all, right? She even talks about how she likes trolling at the very beginning of the first crash out live stream this time around.
I like to troll a little bit. There's nothing wrong with a little troll.
She's been known to clickbait, infiltrate conversations via her myriad sock accounts, and as she likes to say, she knows how to play the YouTube game.
I know the YouTube game. I know what people want. You need to know the YouTube game. So let me sit down, write down a bunch of notes for you, and I'm going to teach you the YouTube game to where you can play the YouTube game. You can have fun with it, but you can also stop yourself from sharing certain things that you shouldn't share.
But this time, I don't know. I'm not so sure it was her goal to wait. I actually think that Amber was hoping to get away with her little disappearing act, so that we would move on to the next piece of drama entirely, and that would leave her free to carry on without addressing any of the accusations and any of the lies that she left in her wake. She came back, typing away at her multiple keyboards, cosplaying what she thinks it looks like to have a more traditional job. While this content, it was truly ridiculous, in my opinion, she actually had put more effort into it than most of her content before she took her break. It's not that difficult, right? Since she was just live streaming at random times before she left.
Destiny, Beck, Feline, and Emily, okay? That is it.
But that's exactly my point. These new shorts took more effort. Plus, she'd obviously worked on them for a while before she launched them because she was able to publish several of them in rather quick succession. Yeah, Amber has gotten herself into some seriously deep shit in the past. We know that, and she knows that.
There are things I have said and done online that I would have never done because I now, as a 34-year-old woman, I have learned from those things and learned from my mistakes.
But she always comes back. She says she loves YouTube and that she's learned from her mistakes.
Learn from my mistakes.
She never has, of course. This time, well, the lies and the questions and the anger, it all just stacked up too high. That it was all too serious, too real. really just too horrendous. You know, they had come so soon after Beck and Destiny and Casey had all come back to YouTube to tell their side of the story, which was also too serious and too real and too horrendous. Amber's audience was, and still is, more angry about more things than perhaps ever before. So, Amber came back and quite obviously didn't want to talk about Tammy or Emily or Rarity anymore.
I want to be able to not talk about this anymore. I did not want to do this. I did not want to do this.
She was hoping that if she ignored us long enough, she'd successfully just get us to move on with her.
The only fucking time I ever fucking cry is when I'm on these stupid fucking live streams, bro. I feel like my live streams are like kind of like my time to like just chill. That's what it feels like to me. Because hundreds of people at one time is like, talk about this. And I'm just like, I don't want to fucking talk about it. Like,
this time around, viewership isn't moving on. Emily and Tammy certainly haven't moved on. And the memory of Rarity, it does live on in all of us, very strongly. So it was really just a matter of time before Amber broke down. We knew it. And even if she didn't want to admit it to herself, Amber knew it too. As each minute passed in those first few live streams after she came back, you could see Amber was losing her grip, bit by bit. She was ignoring the live chat as best as she could, the constant stream of questions and accusations and demands for Amber to respond were really just getting more and more relentless the longer that Amber ignored them. She wouldn't promise a live stream schedule because she didn't want to live stream. She was saying that her energy needed to align with a live stream in order to do it, and she just couldn't say when that would be, even though she has paying members who pay for her live streams.
But I literally just go live like right when like my energy tells me to. I know that sounds probably crazy to a lot of people, but like I am so protecting my peace lately. So it's very just like random when I come on.
The thing is, we're still just not letting her get away with, talking about what bingo hall she went to this week or arguing about whether or not she had a fruit fly or a bed bug crawling on her when she was eating that seafood boil. And when Rachel's first video came out exposing all those text messages between Amber and Emily.
Okay, Amberlynn, whatever makes you feel better to justify your aggressive behaviour. This is so interesting. This is Emily saying, basically, what rages? What, you mean the rages where I try to leave?
The rage inside of Amber and the rest of Gorlworld truly reached the point of no return. It was the tipping point. And now, all of Gorlworld knew it too. So Amber finally gave in to that realization that she was going to have to face the accusations in some way. Instead of doing the thing that everybody wanted from her, right? Acknowledgement of her behavior, accountability for her actions, and an apology to her audience and the people that had been affected. Instead of doing that, she got out one of her many empty journals, grabbed whatever black pen was sitting nearby, and hit play on Rachel's video for the second time. By the time Amber had finished her manic scribbles in a now less empty journal, I think that is when the views and the revenue of it all came to mind for her. And not any time before. She looked down at her new prop, right, that she had created for the next set of lies that she was about to tell, and decided that if she was going to be forced into this conversation, she might as well make it worth her time, her effort, and her tears. Draw it out for as long as humanly possible. Hours at the very least, but why not multiple live streams just to maximize the views?
A lot of people are saying this is boring, but my shit went from 1,100 views to 2,500 while reading this, so I don't know what to say about it.
When Rachel's call to arms came out, demanding that Amber respond to the new information that she had previously shared, you could hear a pin drop in Gorlworld.
Amber, you cannot build a platform of people who pay your bills and have done for 10 years and then come out consistently lie to that audience and take for granted their trust, their time, their money on your memberships. You cannot make videos where you accuse other people of literal crimes, including Aunt Tammy, but also Emily, accusing her of kicking her. You cannot monetize that content on the internet and then expect to just pretend that it didn't happen. You are showing your ass so badly by not addressing this. It is honestly, it's shameful. The best thing you could do right now is go live and admit to what you've done.
So on this day, October 10th, Amber kicks off the live stream as though she hadn't already planned on having her meltdown. In fact, I go as far as to say that I believe she was going to hold out as long as she possibly could before she broke down. If she could get through this live stream and wait until the next, great. She was putting it off as long as possible. But if she ended up giving in to the live chat this time around and giving them, well, not what they wanted, but something else at least, so be it. Because this time, she was ready. She had her newly inked journal entries by her side, literally ready to be pulled out in a dramatic flourish at a moment's notice.
This is your moment! Have it! Go ahead, the stage is here!
At first, we got the usual idle chatter of this disliked public figure talking about really nothing for minutes on end.
You guys, guess what is back? Grey's Anatomy. Well, the box that the desk came in is massive. They have a Thanksgiving baked potato.
So let's watch as Amber tries to hold out while her members-only live chat won't back down.
I go to bingo. Okay, so I actually went to bingo on Wednesday, which is weird because I never do. I just go once a week.
So facts and proof are rumors? Okay.
But I enjoy it, especially because the one that I go to on Saturdays it's people in their 20s, people in their 30s. I feel it's very millennial.
So treating people and pets horribly is okay and does not need a public explanation as long as it happened in private?
I love it. I just genuinely love it. But like, what brought me to enjoying bingo so much is my mom. And bingo's fucking fun, bro. I genuinely enjoy it. It's so fun there. Seeing friends, hanging out with my mom, my stepdad, so.
You are a really scary human, Amber. Karma is coming.
I saw you went to a new bingo hall. Did you like it better? No. So that's the one I used to go to when I first moved to Oklahoma. But like, my mom has been really needing me lately, like emotionally, and I want to be there for her. So I decided to go to, bingo an extra day, and there's nothing wrong with that.
What does it feel like to steal an innocent life?
Ooh, catnip. No, I don't go for the food. The food low-key sucks at bingo.
Soon, you could see her resolve breaking as tears welled up in her eyes, not wanting to face the reality of her own actions or the opinions of the people now holding her accountable for them.
You don't have to be out doing things all the time. Like, I genuinely am such in a peaceful place in my life where I love my routine and I love just how my life is going in that regard.
Yes, girl. Ignore all the super chats. And of course, people kept bringing up Emily. Guys, I think they're fighting again today.
I think they're fighting again today. No, I'm not even Emily's friend anymore. I do not want her in my life. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Your life could be peaceful if you were truthful with us and came clean.
So Brian, my truth is never believed. So I'm not going there. And that's the end of it. So we're gonna move on from that topic. Purse Baby, I appreciate your questions 100,000%, but I just don't want to talk about it anymore. Who's excited for Vlogmas though? Robin, welcome. Like, genuinely, like, I am so fucking excited. Like, you have no idea.
And right on cue, Rachel shows up in the chat.
Hello.
And she says,
There's more coming.
But I keep wondering, like, should I buy a new camera? I keep going back and forth between that. I don't know.
Amber might have tried to ignore the fact that Rachel had just entered the chat, but the rest of the people there sure didn't.
Hello, Rachel. Hello, hello. Welcome.
You could cut this tension with a knife.
Brew, you're excited too? Good.
You can see Amber is doing everything she can not to talk about Rachel.
Do watch her vids. Whose vids?
She did just have to mention her because that's all the chat is talking about. So, of course,
Rachel's.
now she's going to pretend she has no idea who Rachel actually is.
I'm so confused. I stay confused. I live in confusion land. Oh! It's all coming together, but no, I do not. No, I do not.
Someone please give Amber the award for Best Actress in a Dramatic Role. Never.
Yeah, I can't put myself through that bullshit. I'll tell you that one.
You know Amber hates talking about Rachel, so she's gonna try and change the topic.
I don't watch reaction channels. Where are my hoops from? I don't know. It's weird. I wear hoops all the time, but these I get the most compliments on. Whose Vlogmas am I most excited for? Probably Alexandra Rodriguez. And Pink Sparkles, for sure.
Do you have any desire to set the record straight on Emily's accusations?
Space Sealin? Space Sealin. Oh, is it because of my moon?
Rachel has the best tea about abuse of Lynn.
Spaghetti, I was gonna be a devil, but I'm not sure. It's the reaction channel community that is like that.
You're the Devil Daily. It's not a costume for you.
Because people who are like, oh, Amberlynn, I support you, they're not the ones who watch the reaction channels. That's the people who watch me. But the reaction channel community are the people who dox and harass and like say the most awful things I've ever heard someone say.
We hold up a mirror to you. It's not our fault if what you see is upsetting.
In her own eyes, she has not and will never do anything wrong. In her eyes, she is the eternal victim, and everyone else is just wrong about her. And when Amber starts talking about how everyone else lies and she doesn't, well, that's when the live chat gets really angry. She's the devil in disguise.
Oh Lord, here we go.
They tell the truth. You do not.
What about your close personal relationships that all fall apart?
Loved seeing those leaked texts, girl.
You are a representation of your own community.
And they're the reaction channel community that is also watching me. But it's all stemmed from the reaction channel community. And I'm not a part of that. I'm just not a part of that, and I don't want to be a part of that. So,
ignorance is your new best friend.
And right here, the moment that Amber looked off to the side, I knew the time had come. She could no longer ignore the chat, realizing that she would truly never be left alone. Never be let off the hook for her mismatched stories about what happened to Rarity, the accusations she had made against her aunt and her ex-girlfriend, that she needed to face those accusations, and she needed to start speaking.
I don't want to talk about it. Star Walker.
Her delusion has gotten her so deep into a hole that she can no longer climb out of. That her tears fall not out of guilt or shame, but out of sorrow for herself. And knowing the crash out was on the verge of happening, her live chat continued. Brian Cook said,
Can you just tell us the truth for once? Was it peaceful when you spam called M this weekend?
And Jawbone comes in.
How's the board game designing going, dumbass?
And that's in reference to her saying she was going to make a board game out of Choosy. That's right, Choosy. Something that she used against her ex-partners, and probably Emily too, to manipulate them, control their time, and isolate them. She wants to make that into a board game and sell it. Maybe stop being abusive to all your partners.
Yeah.
Girl, we saw you speak to M like shit. Come on, for fuck's sake.
It's just a lot.
Give Beck their 6K with proof for a start.
Amber, you never fucking change. Amber, just start radically telling the truth. It can't get worse than this. You don't have to live like this, but you have to change your behavior. Now, this is just a little reminder for you. These tears, they're not out of guilt or shame or any sort of feelings of remorse. These are tears for herself. Because she doesn't want to be doing this. She doesn't want to be held accountable for things that she doesn't think she's done. And if you don't believe me, she's just about to tell us exactly that.
I just don't want to talk about this anymore. Why don't people understand that?
The next thing that Amber says, in my opinion, is what truly brings this entire thing home for me. Because this isn't about bullying. This is a community full of people who have been watching Amber for over a decade and finally need her to take accountability for her actions. They're not letting it go, they're not giving up, and Amber can't get away with this any longer. Because not only doesn't she want to talk about this, but she doesn't think what she did actually matters.
It has nothing to do with me. I don't care what I did while hurting. I don't care.
And there it is, folks. Amberlynn Reid doesn't think that reactive abuse is abuse. She doesn't care what she did when Emily was calling her names. I am not saying it's okay to call someone names, but I am saying it's all we have proof of at this point in time. Amberlynn has been accused of much more than that. And she's brushing it off because she claims what Emily was doing was making her crazy. It hurt her feelings. So anything she did in response was okay. It was justified. And she should not be held accountable for her actions. And I believe that statement is what opened the floodgates to the rest of the crash out.
But I'm just done talking about this. I'm just done. So, can we please just move on? I don't want to talk about it.
And I think Jawbone said it best when he said,
You don't get to choose when you're held accountable.
And just like that, the true crash out begins.
There's nothing to hold me accountable with. That's the point. That's the point. I've never wished I had never met someone in my whole entire life until now. Yeah, I'm sorry for fucking going absolutely insane and unhinged due to... I just don't want to talk about it anymore. It's the worst fucking relationship I've ever been in my life. I'm just so fucking done.
Amber, proof, please. You crashed out because you got outed. Grow up. She has receipts. You don't. Having your feelings hurt does not give you the right to physically lay hands on someone.
I have so many receipts. Are you kidding? I have receipts of her calling me a cunt, a bitch, worthless, fat ass, a cheating bitch when I didn't do anything. Like, you have no idea the horrible things that she has said to me, and I genuinely just fucking took it, and I was the one to apologize to her for her saying those things to me, and then blah blah blah. It's always my fault. How is that possible? It's not a thing. Ruined a beautiful makeup day. I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Rachel, you're a girl. I'm not saying gender has anything to do with it, but like, you're a girl. And like, fucking Snowflake deleting all of the messages he sent her. That's not normal. She's literally talking to reaction channels. I'm peaceful and I'm moving on with my fucking life. I donate to the homeless shelter every single fucking year. Pam to cook salmon is wrong. She made me psycho. Misery. Rachel, you act like you know the truth, but you are being manipulated by the best manipulator I have ever known in my whole entire life. My whole entire life. And so many people saw right through it in the beginning. I wish I would have listened to Alexis, and I fucking didn't.
Whew, folks, today has been a big one. But never fear, Minnie Waffles and I have worked on something extra special to cleanse our palates. Not only are we going outside the studio once again, but we are pulling out the big guns and we have got slow motion corgi butt to soothe the soul today. Thank you, Minnie Waffles. As always, your cuteness soothes our souls. Amber hates the community that she has created.
So many people are like, oh my god, Amberlynn, your community is so vile, it's so gross, it's so this and so that. And I'm realizing more than ever that it's the reaction channel community that is like that.
And although she'd like to say that her Am babies are a different community from the skeptics and the haters and the reactors, we're all one community. The Amberverse whirls around her, constantly in motion, in this never-ending cycle of drama. But Amber refuses to acknowledge that people only react to her because she is a public figure that's worth reacting to. For many different reasons, none of which she likes. She hates the fact that there are people that see what she does and have questions. Questions that eventually lead to accusations and anger and a want for acknowledgement and accountability, like true accountability. Reactors, we don't have to talk about Amber. There are plenty of toxic people sharing their lives online that are also on the list of potential subjects. And we do. We're not sitting here hoping the worst for her like she claims we are.
Some people in Gorlworld are actual sociopaths. Yeah, they are. It's very obvious. Because they root so hard for me to be hurt and alone and miserable. And it's just not happening. It's not. I'm way too... I'm just way too peaceful for that to happen.
We are simply watching what she does and discussing her actions. But Amber doesn't think that she does anything wrong. And she will never truly take any accountability for what she does because of it. It's why she sees our questions as harassment. So the cycle continues. And it begins and it ends with Amber. And that brings me to today's reminder. Today's reminder. Being a monster when someone hurts your feelings still means that you're a monster. Now, if you wouldn't mind helping me out with the algorithm, hit like, share, or leave a comment down below. And if you'd like to support this channel even more, you can consider becoming a channel member. Today's shout out goes to both Rachel and Jawbone. I reached out to them for their voiceovers during the comment reading, and they were really just so willing and kind enough to indulge my request without questioning my motives. I've added links to their channels in the description below if you haven't already subscribed to them, although I'm sure you have. All right. I'll leave a couple of videos on screen if you would like to continue watching, and otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.
I'm concerned she's still slightly narcissistic. I'm actually finding this cathartic.
Amber's fat fucking bullshit of a body.
What's the common denominator, Emily? Gruesome as in super sexual. Yeah, pop off, queen, pop off. Feelings are facts, actually. All she said was Tupperware. Wait.
Woo, that's nothing.
Point blank, period. Treating you like a kindergartner because you're acting like one. But wait a minute, kindergartners are smarter and kinder than most of you. That's a narcissistic thing to say to someone. Genuinely. I forgot this happened. I'm talking to literally a bunch of like 3-year-olds at this point. And a therapist that I was seeing one time, I can't show receipts because I'm on the device that has the receipts on it. There's no tears. There's no tears. Is there no tears? Right now, I'm unhinged as fuck. The next time I come back, this will never happen again.